We love a good leap of faith story, and as long as someone else is doing the leaping, I'm okay with that. But when it's your turn to jump, I'm out. Find a new job, something, a new job, a new conversation, or an uncertain calling. Fear gets into our system really, really fast. But here's the deal. God never promised safe. He never said, follow me and it would be safe. But he did promise he'd be in the free fall. So jump out of that airplane. We're going to talk about that right now, how to be fearless. And when you think about it, fearless doesn't happen. Nobody is fearless. We'll get to it.
Got it.
I have a fear of dancing in public.
Most people should. And unfortunately, most don't.
There's a wrong time to take a drink of coffee.
Oh, wrong time to stop sniffing glue. I hope people will get the reference to that one.
Right. So absolutely.
If you don't, Airplane the movie.
Right. Airplane the movie. Absolutely, God calls us to live fearlessly. But he never promised it would be safe.
No, and that's the thing, right? It's like I love how you like in your little intro there. It's like nobody's really fearless. Like if you really think about it, I don't know as though there's a person who is called or decides to do something that is so far outside of what their comfort zone isn't scared to do it.
Right. Completely. I mean, many believers equate fearlessness with comfort and control and clarity, but true obedience often means being led into situations that look risky. They feel terrifying, that offers zero guarantees. We assume if God's in it, then it should be peaceful. But honestly, I think the opposite. If God is in it, then it's going to be scary, and we're going to be afraid. But realize the idea that what if peace comes after the panic?
That's good. I like that. So it's like, so what you're saying is God's asking me to do something, or even maybe it's not even a God thing. I mean, it may just be like I'm making a decision to go do something that is really outside of my comfort zone, and I know doing it. There's no guarantee of success.
Yeah.
And
Real life example.
for me,
Yeah,
or
sure.
you,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I know I go way back, another lifetime ago. I left a good job, a comfortable job, a job that I was good at, a job that I was kind of recognized in the community for, um, to just start my own business because I just felt, and I believe called, to do this, to just be a trainer, leadership, culture, team building, that kind of a trainer for other organizations. And I had no guarantee I was going to be successful. I had no guarantee where the money was going to come from while I was building my business. I had no guarantee of any of that, but I just felt like that's what I was supposed to do. And like the day that I turned in my resignation, the day that I started investing a whole bunch of money into the business to learn how to do it better, um, like there was this mixed emotion of like, this is the dumbest thing ever. What are you doing? You're an idiot. Alongside of that was also, it was like, this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So even in the fear, there was a sense of calm, and it was a balance of like how do you balance the two, right? It's like don't let the fear overcome the calm, because if it had, I would have just quickly went back to doing what I was doing.
Right. Right.
Which for me personally probably wouldn't have been a terrible thing, but I would have still always had in the back of my head of like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Um, so yeah, and I mean, and I don't look back now out of any regret at all. I always look back at it as like, yeah, I'm still doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. I have a story, but it's much less dramatic and much more trivial. But nevertheless, uh, I discovered that I was afraid of heights on a 10-meter tower in an Olympic size venue, able to go up in the 10-meter tower. And everybody else was doing it, so why wouldn't I do it, right? I am not going to wimp out in front of the ladies. And this happened when I was like 19 in college. All the guys were going up and jumping off the 10-meter tower, and everybody was doing it. It looked so easy. It looked so nice. And there's a sign, and there's lifeguards, and there's a sign that says, if you go up the ladder, you must jump. And I'm thinking, no problem, no problem, no problem. So I go up this first set of ladders, read the sign, and I wore glasses, and I was fairly blind, and so I was literally going, if you go up the ladder, okay, got it, read it, got up to the first platform, and that was a 3-meter diving board, which it's not manly enough. So I go up the second set of ladders, same sign, if you go up this ladder, you do not come down, you must jump. I get up to the 10-meter tower, and all of a sudden I realize that this was not a good idea for me. I walk out, I almost like creep out and look over the edge. And because I was so nearsighted, I couldn't see where the water started. And, and everything like that. And it was just like jumping out into the void. And so I did what every person that was afraid would do. I compensated by being stupid and pretending that I was, strong and fearless. And I wasn't.
That might be. You said you were 19, 20.
Yep, 19. Yep.
Yeah, well, that might have been just a whole bunch of testosterone too.
Yeah, until I get up there, then the testosterone said, "See you at the bottom."
Right.
So anyway, long story short, after stalling and the lifeguard yelling at me to jump, I actually jumped off, and I kept trying to focus on where the water was, which meant I leaned forward during the free fall, and I ended up semi belly flopping from 10 meters up.
Nice.
And all the guys laughed, and all the girls came over going, "Are you okay, Bill?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, maybe." Yes.
So it worked out in the end.
Yeah, no. But leap of faith. Leap of faith. I mean, it's got nothing to do with living a Christian faith, but leap of faith. So,
Yeah.
So here's the story back in 2009, and I'm going to butcher this name, but nevertheless, Marzieh Amirzadeh.
Close enough.
Iranian-born Christian convert, 2009. She and a friend, Miriam Rostampour. Again, I'm trying to read this, and it's still not coming out. They were arrested in Iran for their Christian faith. Okay, they were distributing Bibles, apostasy. They endured interrogation, threats, torture. They were sentenced to execution, just living with the thought of being sentenced to execution. Though the situation was extremely dangerous and fearful, neither backed down. Their faith held. They said, "You know what? We're in it now. We're in it now." 259 days in prison. International pressure led to their release. They later co-wrote a book called Captive in Iran, which is a very descriptive name, exactly what it is. And they described their season of fear, uncertainty, obedience, and God's presence. And I know there's probably hundreds of stories of that, but it always involves jumping first.
Yeah. I mean, you say hundreds. My guess is there's thousands, if not tens of thousands of stories like that. My own personal family. I've got a family member who took a leap and decided to become a missionary, and took his wife and 3 kids, and has now had another kid abroad, in a very hostile environment where they are not free to talk about their faith very much.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And I look at him and like, man, that's impressive. Where does that kind of faith come from? And it is just a matter of God told me to do it,
Right?
so I just trust.
Yeah. And
And when I talk with him now, like he knows he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do, and he is filled with incredible peace, even though there's a lot of hardship.
yeah, peace in the midst of danger
Yeah.
is
So
right.
you use this phrase a little bit when we were kind of preparing for this bill, and I think it's kind of the title of this podcast is like faith is our safety net.
Exactly. And faith is hard to see in the moment.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
it,
you look
it's
at
like the
it's hard
water.
to
It's like the water I couldn't see. You know.
yeah, it's like it's hard to think about that as like we all want a safety net. It's like okay, well, I'll do it, but I want to know there's a way out. I want to know there's something that's going to save me. Um, but yet when we're talking about that true spiritual kind of jumps, like there is no safety net. The only safety net we have is I'm doing it out of faith and I know God's got me. That is truly the only safety net that exists.
Right. Totally agree. Totally agree. So here's a couple of thoughts. First, God leads us into risk, not around it. I don't think God gives us detours. He says, drive through the middle, drive through the middle,
Well, and
and
I think
go ahead.
well, I think he gives us I mean, again, free will, right? So we always have the option of going around it.
It's true.
However, by going around it, we never truly experience the true joy outcome that he actually intended for us.
Agreed.
So,
Yeah.
so we have, and it's through the obedience of saying, okay, I there, I don't know what this is going to lead to, God, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's
No.
through the obedience that um uh the benefit, I don't know, for lack of a better term, the benefit comes.
Right. Right.
The
Uh,
benefit comes through obedience.
yeah. Obedience often disrupts comfort. So
Ain't that the truth?
yeah. Yeah. Here's another thought. Fear isn't failure. It's friction. Friction causes heat, can burn things up. I mean, we can go down that rabbit hole of all these different ideas and thoughts about friction, but fear isn't failure. It's friction.
Friction. Well,
It's the thing it's the thing we gotta work through. Uh,
and I think of it like this too, is like our personal growth always comes through tension.
okay,
Like there's no growth without uncomfortableness. So that friction that you're talking about is that tension or uncomfortableness or whatever that is. And it's through that is where we grow in our faith, grow in our abilities, grow in our skill sets, grow in our knowledge, whatever it is, because we're kind of challenging the uncomfortableness. So I love that idea is that fear is not failure. Fear is the tension or the friction. I like
okay.
that.
Think about Peter, Matthew chapter 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Come on out of the boat. I ain't gonna,
Yeah.
yeah, come out of the boat, and Peter had to in his mind and even in his heart had to ignore the fact that nobody's ever gotten out of a boat in a storm at night and you know
Survivor.
and survived, lived to be a fisherman again. But no, I mean he had to take the leap of faith. I mean we've heard this many times. He had to take that leap of faith. He had to step out, but nothing happened until he stepped out.
Yeah. And then thinking through that, what happened when he starts thinking about the fear, starts thinking about the reality, what happens to
Yeah,
him?
more than the sandals got wet.
A little bit. Um,
So yeah,
but once, but knowing that, yeah, that step of faith, that leap of faith, that like it took the first step in order for him to realize, like, hey, I can walk on water. Who knew?
Well, Jesus knew. Uh, but I mean, even in the like, I continually go back to uh, Daniel chapter 3, where you got Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they even stood up and they said, throw us into the fire, our God will save us. But even if He doesn't, I'm good with it.
Yeah,
So we got to realize that sometimes we're going to step into the fire, we have to be willing to step into the fire, and we don't get saved. The worst does happen, but it always happens. Whatever happens when you trust God, whatever happens is for the glory of God.
right, right.
You know.
And um, I mean, kind of we're kind of on the still in the period of time after the whole Charlie Kirk thing.
Hmm.
One of Charlie Kirk's statements was um, that something to I forget I'm gonna butcher the quote, but something like when a Christian dies, it is his best day.
Oh, yeah.
And I butchered that quote, but it's something to that effect. It's like, so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, like even if he doesn't save us, it's still going to be a good day for us.
It's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day.
Oh,
Uh, so let's just ask this: what jump, what leap of faith have you been avoiding because it doesn't feel safe?
hmm.
Even though God is nudging you, what are you avoiding? And how have you defined fearlessness in your faith? Uh, how is that definition either serving or stalling you? How do you define fearlessness when it comes to your faith in God?
Yeah, that one's kind of that one kind of steps on my toes a little bit right now, Bill, because there's a lot of things I'm thinking about, like, there's some things I should be doing that I'm not doing that I feel like God's calling me to do, and I'm still kind of like, well, but eh.
Yep, yep,
Um, and then also I think there's another piece of that too, is like, um, how do you define fearlessness, especially when it's combined with your faith? We said at the very beginning, nobody's actually fearless. Like
right,
there's always a fear.
right. I'm firmly convinced that if you're a skydiver, every time you jump out of an airplane, there is a feeling of fear, and a lot of the skydivers that do it for forever, uh, uh, I think, and I don't know because I ain't one of them, nor will I ever be. But when they jump out of the plane, there's always a thought in the back of their mind, but they do it anyway. And we kind of talked about the idea of being desensitized. And
Mhm.
sure, they've just gotten used to it. They've gotten used to trusting the process. And for us, God is the process.
Oh, that's good.
God is the process, and that is our call to action. God is
So
the process. Jump, get on out there, put yourself in a, not purposely, but when you follow God's lead, you're put in a position where you have to trust Him.
So I hear what you're saying is like, so that skydiver who's, got hundreds of jumps, they don't think about the fear anymore because they've just done it so often. It's either a desensitization or they've just learned to trust it so much that they don't think about the fear anymore. If we could get ourselves to the point where every time I feel called by God, I don't think about the fear, I think about the faith.
Yes,
I think
yes,
about, well, this is a God thing, so just do it.
just do it.
I like that. I think it's a really good place for us to just kind of just wrap this thing up.
It's a good place for us to jump off.
Yeah. So what we got? We got uh faith is your safety net. So if you're afraid to do something because you're not sure of the outcome, just know that your faith. And if you need a list, go to Hebrews 11 and
Mm,
just read the list of the Hebrews of faith that did an enormous amount of things with no guarantee. And look how it turned out for them.
Yep. If you want to see faith in action, you have to act first. So that's
I like
good.
it.
I'm with Jamie.
Hey, that right over there, that's Bill.
Hey, Jamie pointed the right way this time.